Hey, Julie.
Hey, what's up?
Django's hitting his eye.
Here you go.
Ooh.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. Are you in the working world? Are you in college?
I'm in college.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm finishing up my last year. Of
Okay.
college.
All right. Then this will all be really pretty too. Danny, help me.
On my laptop. I'm trying out though, but I did the most recent one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how that works. Or that, like a paragraph? I don't know. Or, yeah. I know.
Oh, the results don't really vary that much, so you should be fine.
Okay.
Okay. So the first thing I want to ask you is that you guys all did your disc or whatever?
Yeah.
All right. So what are you? What's your strength?
Oh, mine
Yeah.
is, it says, my influence is 42, dominance is 30, compliance is 17, and steadiness is 10.
Okay. So your dominance is the strongest, right?
Yes, so my dominance, no, my influence is the
Your
strongest.
influence is, that's good. Okay.
Mine was dominance.
Yours is dominance?
Mine was dominance. Mine was 30. Dominance and
And influence.
influence was like 33 and 30%.
Oh, that's really good. That's really good.
My dominance was my lowest one, 14%.
Okay. What was your highest? That's what I need.
My two highest was compliance and influence at 30%.
Okay. Good.
I don't see it. I guess it's.
But it was the other one.
Huh? Which one did you do?
He did the first one.
Oh, okay. But it should have.
I saw that.
Let's see it. This one goes into more of the.
You remember yours?
I don't remember percentage, but I remember dominance was
Yeah.
really high.
I know.
I was
Yeah,
like,
but,
oh.
it's not.
Yeah. Unintentional.
It's not unintentional.
It's a date.
Okay, just be honest about it. It's dominant.
I try to be as humble.
Okay, what?
Okay, your
There's
with
two
the compliance, so you'd be stronger on the influence. Okay, that's good. Did you do yours? Let's see. Yes, yours would. See how these have these numbers?
Let me
Okay.
bring mine up.
Yours is agreeableness. Okay, that's your strength.
Compliance.
And yours is a compliance portion.
I did get the wrong one. This is what.
Yeah, that's the Kiersey.
I don't know what else.
This is
Well,
your stuff.
what we
Oh, really?
want to do is look at this career development.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Can you go back and do?
Or,
Yeah,
I can go back and do the.
the disc. Do the disc. Yeah. Okay, so what's this?
My score.
Okay, well, first of all, my eyes are not near that good. So here's the importance of all of this. Now, I'm not saying that anybody is bad, because we're all different in the way we interact with people and everything. But yours, with an equal amount of dominance and influence, is really the best to have. Okay, that's what you want to work for, is to try to get those two equal. And the reason you want to do that is because dominance means that you're ready and willing to move forward and be in charge. However, with the influence, it means that you will take into consideration everybody else's feelings and be willing to listen to other options. So it's always good to have that influence as part of a strong part of your working knowledge and your work ethic. And we as Asians usually do have that as a very strong part, because we are a culture of inclusivity. Okay, that's the way we look at things, and it doesn't make any difference whether you're Japanese, Filipino, Korean, or you guys. Okay, it's just the way that we have learned to be as a culture, and it's not any different, and it's not bad. It's actually very good, because we're willing to listen to other people's positions. So that's the good part. The other part that we want to strengthen is that dominance part. The dominance teaches us that we need to, when they're saying, does anybody have an idea, we as a culture would normally sit there and wait for somebody of higher rank to put their hands up with the idea. What we need to learn to do, and I have a little bit of a head start over you guys, because I got that Mexican thing going on. See, and they're the ones that are raising their hands saying, I have an idea. And when we do that, we are showing the dominance, but not being, you don't want to be the kid that's standing there going, oh, I got it, right? You just want to say, well, I like your idea, and I think we could make it stronger by. Remember, we're not using but or however. However, I think it's a pretty dumb dang idea, because, no, as soon as you say however or but, they're forgetting everything they've just said. They're just ready to go to war with you. But if you say and, you've come up with this idea, and I think we can make it stronger by doing this. And I think if we did this in addition, and if we also looked at this side. See, we're giving them options. So we're being dominant by raising our hands and saying, I have something else. And something that we were talking about in the, talking about the Myers-Briggs. The Myers-Briggs is more of a personal personality, whereas the DISC and the Keirsey are more work personality, how you get along with other people. And that's why I preferred you doing the DISC. But I would go back. I mean, all of those are free. If you want a more extensive one, you can pay for it. But it's good, since you're just starting out, to do all those free ones. You just go in there, try them all. The Myers-Briggs talks about your personality, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, and the difference between an extrovert and an introvert. An introvert gets their energy by being by themselves, being in their head, thinking things through, whereas an introvert, did I say extrovert? Yeah, no, that's an introvert. An introvert thinks things through their heads. An extrovert, I like to say, thinks with their mouth open. And I'm an extreme extrovert. I get a lot of energy for being people. That's why I usually do pretty well at teaching, because I get my energy from listening to other people and getting ideas from them. I always say I learn more teaching a class than any of the students do, because they bring new ideas that maybe I hadn't thought of. So, that's always good. So always be alert to what other people give you, okay? But on the same token, I've come up with an idea and then talked through it with a bunch of people and changed my mind completely by the end of the talk. So, that's what I say. An extrovert thinks with their mouth open, and an introvert needs some time to go away. So if you're leading a team, and I'm sure you all will at some time or another, you have to respect the extrovert's opportunity to give you ideas. And the way you do that is if you have something that you want to work on, you send it out ahead of time, a day or so, and say, please read this, think about it, see if you have any ideas for me. And then your extrovert is going to flick through it real quick and say, yeah, and set it aside until you're all together. Your introvert is going to read it through and then maybe read it through again and then think it through so that when they come to the meeting, they have ideas for you. You're probably all extroverts. No? Yeah, you're probably all introverts, right? So,
Slight extrovert.
yeah. Well, you know what? That's really the best. Well, I keep on saying that's the best. There's no, I have to tell you, there's no best and there's no worst. We're just the way we are. But if you can slide from the introvert part into the extrovert, to spend some time doing that social thing with your coworkers, with your boss. If your boss asks, hey, you want to go get a beer? Dang it, go drink a beer, or a ginger ale or whatever. But that gives you the opportunity to get to know them a little better, for them to get to know you a little better, and for you actually at times to offer ideas about things that are going on at work that maybe you haven't been as comfortable talking about or working on. So that sociability that is so hard for an introvert to do is very important, because a lot of times an introvert will, my husband is what I call a baby extrovert. He's just right on that line. He's really just barely on the introvert side. And when we go out, he likes going out, but it's kind of hard for him. He doesn't make the first move. It's usually me. Hey, I've got plans. We're going to go. These people, we're going to do this and blah, 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 blah. And, sometimes it's work related. And I've told him, the way you get things going at work is say, hey, why don't we all go out? You come up with the idea. Why don't we all go out for, appetizers and beer, or happy hour, or brunch, or whatever works for you. And that gives you that time to get to know your people a little bit better and to work with them a little bit. So that's one of the things about the American culture, is that we are used to getting to know our coworkers personally. I mean, you don't need to know why they got a divorce, or how many affairs they've had, or any of that kind of stuff. But you do need to know how many children they have, how far they've driven, those kinds of things. And if someone comes in a little bit to work a little bit late, just kind of, oh man, was that traffic bear today? And oh yeah, it really was. Now that creates that interpersonal knowledge, that connection between the two of you that maybe somebody else hasn't thought of. So the next time the boss or your coworker has a big project, they'll say, hey, Tree, would you mind helping me with? Okay, now you've gotten your foot in the door to move a little bit further forward. So let me see. We've been going through these steps, right? We talked about self-awareness first. This is part of your self-awareness, but it's also part of what we're going to be working about today, because until you know yourself, until you know what gripes you, until you know what motivates you, until you know what can hinder you from moving forward, you can't get past those things. Those things will always be, it's just like a wall that you just can't kick down, and if you don't know it's there, then you keep on pouncing against it. But if you know it's there, you can walk around it and get past it. And that's what we're working on. So, and then we talked about self-regulation, knowing what motivates us, knowing what makes us angry, knowing what can help us move forward, and knowing how to, those trigger words like, lazy, or, all Asians are smart, but you're not very. Where the hell is that coming from? But, people will say stupid things like that. But if you know that that's one of those things that's going to trigger, you know, a negative reaction from you, you can just in your mind say, this guy is stupid, I just got to, you know, work around him. So, and then we talked about the motivation and empathy, what gets you, what motivates you, and how you can work with others by empathizing and knowing what makes them tick. Okay? So then, today we're going to talk about effective relationships. And we're really breaking this into two, because this time we're going to talk about effective relationships, and the next time we come, we're going to talk about more combative things, you know, things that are competitive, things that can upset you, and those sorts of things. But today we're going to talk more about ways to build bonds, things we can do to be more collaborative with our coworkers and with the people that we, you know, encounter at school or at work, and then also to strengthen our teamwork, because this is what it's all about, making strong teams so that they will look at you as a leader. They're not going to look at you as a leader unless you can collaborate with everybody and build a strong team. So, you guys remember what you are? Okay. I'm going to put up the paper again and pass out these. And what I want you to do first, for each of you, for each of the groups, is to give me 2 things that motivate you, or that can help you build a strong team. Okay? For each of you. So for a monkey, it might be people who like to party. Okay? But for a lion, what could it be? Don't tell me. You guys figure it out. Yeah. Did everybody do their animal things? Do they know what they are? Yeah? Okay. Can I get you guys to put that like this? How many are there? One? Let's see. We can use actually that board and just the paper. And then one right there.
Oh, do you want us to put the paper over the board, or?
No, just go ahead and use the board. And then this one over here. Did you do the animal thing? I don't remember.
Is that the, which one is that
The
called?
the monkey, the lion, the,
Oh, no.
no. Okay, have you done your Myers, have you done the Myers-Briggs before? No. Okay. How about you're doing the disc, yeah, right.
Yeah.
That sounds so generic.
Have you finished?
Yeah.
I don't remember what anyone I mean.
I go to. What's motivate you? What motivates me?
Okay, I'll get you your pen.
What?
All right,
That
tell you
big
what.
ring.
That's what she said.
That's what she said.
Okay.
Oh,
Danny,
my.
excuse me.
Oh, you.
Who's writing? All right, I need 2 things.
I'm a monkey.
You're a monkey?
Yeah, I think you wanted to be the
Lion.
lion.
Okay.
What motivates me?
Lion, monkey.
Okay. Let's see.
Where's the lion?
This one, a lion, okay, all right, put lion wherever the lion's going to be. A lion
just takes the
is
place.
someone
They don't
who
ask.
takes charge a lot of times. The monkey is your sociable one, your owl is your thinker, and your dog is the one that is compliant and kind of gets along with everybody. So which one do you think you probably be?
Probably a dog.
Probably a dog. Who's our dog? You guys, okay, all right. Monkey,
So,
What about that one?
so where we
An owl.
like what motivates
Oh,
you?
an
yes,
owl.
what motivates you?
Oh, what motivates me?
Mhm.
In the team, right?
Yeah, in a team, you guys work together. Choose 2 things.
Wait,
Danny, where are you?
I forgot what team I am.
I think you were a dog.
Yeah.
A lion.
No owls today?
No owls today.
Owl,
No thinkers,
Joe,
huh?
Yeah.
Domination.
Similar to what we did.
Dominance.
Mm-hmm.
So we're thinking of like qualities and characteristics. though?
No, like,
Challenging. Challenging.
Yeah.
But usually like initial challenges. Once things get rolling,
Yeah.
kind of like backing off.
Yeah, what,
Because it doesn't.
something that motivates you or something that bonds you with,
Yeah.
I mean, do a brain dump. Just write as many things as you can think of that motivate you and help you bond with your group.
same.
Finding the enemy.
Requires you to.
Finding the enemy.
Because if you can't find it, as a lion, it's really hard to do
Can I
it.
ask something?
Right?
I like the act of bringing people together.
Yeah.
Kind of like
I think praise.
That's the finding the enemies.
Like,
I know.
Yeah.
Right.
expanding.
Oh, praise.
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 Oh,
Glory.
yeah.
Glory.
What is this about?
Yeah.
We're talking about really,
How to like as a dog? What would you motivate you to in this?
Maybe
Challenge.
Yeah.
maybe similar experiences. Is that what you mean? Yeah. Okay. Some experiences.
Something new.
Something. Okay.
You said like expanding your
experiences.
funny group,
Do we care about recognition?
having a variety of friends.
Not as much.
I'm trying to think. Knowing that I do care that
Motivates you, right?
someone else gets the credit. Yeah.
I'll do
Other than that, not too much.
Yeah.
You being recognized for these things.
Organization.
Mm-hmm.
I think just
Maybe having
recognition, not for our products, not for the results, but
maybe
just
having
acknowledgement.
diverse.
Yeah.
It's not at least for acknowledged. For
Having the
like attention.
like a variety of like diverse ideas. Your friends to exchange diverse ideas with. Yeah. Diversity. Especially diversity.
Let's see what else. Voice. Wait, just that.
Looking at all of the
Maybe
options, yeah.
Yeah. It's one of the gadgets.
What foundation?
Stimulation.
Mhm.
See what it is, right?
Yeah, having a strong foundation.
Mental stimulation.
Okay, guys, got it?
That's like you know,
Or teamwork.
Oh yeah. Do that.
All right. So with our lions, they want to win, okay? Okay, which are the two that you want to keep? You have to choose two that are your very favorite.
Dominance. Winning.
Dominance, okay.
Winning. Definitely winning.
Okay.
Winning.
And what else?
They're the same thing to me.
Yeah, okay. And
Yeah.
what's, okay, that's one, all right, winning.
Glory. Glory.
Glory?
Glory.
Yeah, you know what? Praise and glory for, yeah. If you want to, all right. Well, if you want to get on the good side of someone who's a dominant, you want to, even if they're not the winners, you do want to give them praise for what they've done. My golly, that was just so great that you added, sprinkles on top of the ice cream. Nobody else thought about that, That's one of those things that a dominant, a lion, an extrovert is going to want. They're going to want someone to notice what they've done, even if it's just a little thing that I work with a lawyer in our labor relations section. To be perfectly honest with you, she's a royal pain in the ass. She just, everybody gets on her wrong side. You have to know the right way to rub her. Because if you rub her like this, she's not going to like it. But if you rub her like this, we're good, right?
Don't stop purring.
But she just helped me with a PowerPoint. I was having trouble making the video clips that I was adding into it automatically start in the PowerPoint. I didn't know how to do that, and I was saying some real unpleasant things to my computer, and she happened to walk in, and she said, it's your problem, and she's kind of brusque, and I said, I want this PowerPoint for the video to automatically turn on, and I can't do it. It goes to black, and you got to click it. Have you ever seen that? Yeah. Okay, so I said, I can't do it. She said, in my volunteer job, she said, I do PowerPoints all the time. Because I know, in labor relations, you don't show a lot of PowerPoints. So she said, let me work on it. And she did it. And it worked. And I, praised her on the email. And when I saw her, I hugged her. And I said, oh, my God, Portia, this is exactly what I needed. And when we did it in front of the whole big fat wide world, which is, I did a presentation in front of 400 people, I gave her credit. Woman is eating out of the palm of my hand. I can get her to do all kinds of stuff. If I ask her things about labor relations, she gets me the answer like this. And other people, like, God, I can't get Portia to do anything. Ha 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 ha. And this is what got me that. So I know, most lawyers are in this group here, but because I was able to just say it repeatedly in bigger and bigger crowds, she helps me with all kinds of things. When I have questions about a memorandum of understanding that I need to have done with a union, I can call her up and say, hey, I'm wondering about the wording for this. She'll say it to me, send it to me, I'll take a look at it, and I get it back right away. Where other people who are, listen, Portia, I need that back, they don't get it for days because, it's knowing where everyone comes from, where their motivation comes from. So we know that these two, for our lion, is winning, and well, it's a different color. They did win because they got that stuff, and because she got praise. Okay, those are two really big things for them. You're absolutely right. That's what you guys want. All right, dogs. What about you? What are your two most important ones?
Loyalty.
Okay.
And
You guys want to help her out?
Cooperation or relationship?
yeah.
Okay. Loyalty and relationships. Right. Okay. Now, with our dogs, this is absolutely right. Loyalty. They're used to doing their things the same way a lot of times. This is, the way we've always done it is the way I'm going to want to continue to do it. For dogs, change is very hard. Change is very hard for them. So if you're working with someone who, usually your admin types fall into this, or librarians, I hate to say supervisors, but a lot of supervisors, because we've always done it this way, they want to do it this way, especially older folks like me. I mean, I hate to put people into buckets. I don't fit in the bucket because I'm always making changes because I'm a monkey. But I know that if I want someone who has difficulty with change to accept what I'm doing, I'm going to give it to them in little bits. You know that on January 2, you're going to have to make this change. So way back here in August, we talk about, people have been saying that we're going to need to change this process. So you're telling your dogs this is coming, okay? And you ask them, you know, who can you work with? And back to this relationship stuff, okay? Who can you work with, do you think, to make a different color paperwork? Something little, okay? And they're going to think about it, and then they're going to move toward, you know, making that change. Okay, so we've made a little step. And then the next time the step is asked to be just a little bit bigger, you know. Okay, now we're going to change the size of the paper. But we've always used the same size paper. Well, yes, we have, but now that doesn't fit into the printer as well. So we're thinking about, you know, doing this change. Or maybe it goes faster into the printer, and you can get your work done quicker. Okay. There's always the whiffle. What's in it for them? Okay. They build a relationship by working with someone else, and there's still the loyalty because you're still respecting what they've done and how we're staying along the same line, just making a little bit of change at a time. Okay, with our owls, organization and a strong foundation is what they want. Okay? Organization is so important to an owl because they know that things have always been done a certain way, and they need to be, they need to know where they're going. Okay, what the foundation was that started this whole thing. They're the ones that are. These are our thinkers. Okay, they're going to want to, and they're probably introverts also. They're going to want to be in their mind a little bit, thinking things through, and they're the ones that may stop you. These people will stop you over here because you're making a big change, and they'll dig their heels in. These people over here will stop you because they want to know that you've gone through everything. You've looked at all of the options and which one is going to be best. You're going to have to give them a reason why you've gone there. You can't. We extroverts too often will go to, well, let's just change it because it's a good idea, and our monkeys over here are going to go, oh, wow, that sounds like fun, let's do it. But these two groups right here need more of an explanation. You've got to have your ducks in a row for this person here, okay? If you're going to bring them along board with you, you've got to know, you know, yeah, did you look at the money? Yes, it costs us this much to the way we're doing it now. It will save us this much if we do it this way. It'll take this much less time. You have to have your ducks in a row for your owl. They've got to know what you're saving, what you're, why you did it, all that kind of thing. They're all up here in their heads. Okay? These people, well, the owl and the lion are in their heads. The dogs and the monkeys are in their hearts. Okay? The loyalty over here for your dogs, and the fun over here for the monkeys. Okay? So now to our happy-go-lucky people. Tell me about that.
Oh, so many. We had to down. We're stuck between three choices.
Okay, let's hear all three of them.
First one is challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Next side says new experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that we haven't done, touched, or done. And efficiency, whether that be shortcuts or the best way to do something.
You know, that's actually more this guy. Yeah, but the new experiences and the challenges, absolutely, absolutely. We want to look at ways to get the monkey to look at new opportunities, new, you know, what else could we do? You know, you're going to give them, send them off to look at all the options, find all the options for them in this way. And then these guys are going to tear them apart. But that's good, because you need somebody from all the areas to look at, because that's the way you're going to come out with your best option. And that is the way that you're going to get buy-in from everybody, by taking a little bit from what everyone says and kind of bringing it together as the team lead. Okay? But yeah, new experience, absolutely. My boss takes advantage of me all the time, and I am a willing recipient because I'll start up a new program, I'll look at different ways to do things, I'll start the program, I'll make an organized list, have somebody who's a good owl and dog take a look at that list, tear it apart, fix it up for me. And then once we roll it out and it's really good, she says, okay, now we're going to give it to this guy, and here's your new project. And I gripe about it because, oh my God, I worked so hard on this project. But you know what? The truth is, I've gotten kind of bored with this. I know that this is going to work. Once I got it up and running and working well, yeah, I'm ready for my next challenge. So yeah, new experiences, new challenges, creativity, that's all about you guys. Okay? So that's how you're going to take advantage of each of these areas. Know who you are, know what gets you going, and know what the other people want. Okay? All right, have a seat. I am hoping that I can get this up. This is, Danny, you may have to help.
Okay.
Oh, looks like we're going to get it. Okay.
You skip
Get the volume up.
skip air.
Yeah, the sound.
Yeah, could you help Rosie with the sound?
No, the sound, Danny.
Oh, the sound.
Oh, did you upload the channel?
Nope.
I think some, yeah.
With the line.
So that.
Oh.
The attitude that it's not only about your I.
Can you make it closer? Yeah.
Let's look at some definitions. In 1997, Daniel Goleman came out with a book called Emotional Intelligence. So he popularized the attitude that it's not only about your IQ. You can be intelligent, you can be strong, but if you don't know how to adapt your emotions, you cannot be successful. Well before Daniel Goleman, Aristotle looked at it and simply said, fine, be angry, but with whom? The right person at the right time for the right reason. And so that really is the basis of emotional intelligence, understanding it, understanding not avoiding anger, but understanding how to use it to have the most impact. Two other definitions, a bit closer to our time, the ability to perceive emotion, to understand it and integrate it to facilitate thought in order to promote personal growth. So that's about you. Another one that came up further and took it a step further, and specifically saying, effectively understanding myself and others. How do we relate to people? How does that impact our relationships, the environment in which we live? And this is ever so important today. We live in a gyroscopic, non-stop, 24/7, 365 world. It is much more complex, with lots of paradoxes. You work with geography, geodispersed teams, virtually. All of this becomes building more and more emotional climates. So that's why emotional intelligence is no longer something that you can say, I don't need to worry about that because I'm intelligent. It is part of who you are. Neuroscience today is proving we process emotions 60,000 times faster than with the thought processes, cognitive. So it's something to think about. It's something to take seriously. What is it not? Because people say, ooh, emotional intelligence, that's, I have to be nice all the time. No, it's not about just being nice. It's not about letting it all hang out either. It's not about just saying, well, now I have the right to be emotional. But it's understanding how your emotions impact your reactions and how they show up on your interactions. There are 5 foundations of emotional intelligence. Obviously, the first part is you. What does it mean to you to be self-aware, to know how to self-manage oneself, and to self-motivate? One of the biggest issues today in companies is motivation. If you do not understand how you motivate yourself, you cannot communicate a positive environment to others. And of course, the other foundations are not only about yourself, but how others see you. We all have those blind angles. And if we don't reach out and to learn how people perceive us, then we cannot understand how they feel, empathy. We cannot improve our vision of their perspective on a situation. We cannot be interactive, build relationships correctly if we have erratic or emotional volatility. We need to remind ourselves that Professor Moravian came up with the idea that, studied actually, that nonverbal communication has a major impact on how you communicate. 93% of what people are listening to or understanding is your nonverbal reactions. David Rock, who is the founder of the Neuro Leadership Institute, has studied, along with neuroscientists, what happens when there's emotional stability. First thing is that our brain seeks stability. Our brains actually are very lazy, and they want to just be calm. So they look for routine, they look for what they know. Practice makes perfect. And the minute you're having that difficult conversation, that uncomfortable crisis, your brain sends out neurotransmitters that puts it on alert. And what's happening is your brain is running through its amygdala, it's in the center of your brain, and you're having an emotional hijacking. That's human. Be it in Asia, be it in Europe, be it in the United States. And the questions your brain is asking is my status being questioned? Who I am? My identity? Do I feel autonomous? Do I have a choice in what is happening to me? The question about relationships, are they now being threatened? And is any of this fair? That happens very quickly in your brain. You feel that emotion. Some people have their hands sweat. You feel the stress coming on. And your brain is saying, what do I do? Do I freeze? Do I fight? Or is it flight, flee? Do you run away? And with that, we can understand that brain research is showing us that chronic high stress prevents people from thinking. Their brain cell activity becomes limited. It affects their creativity. It also, we've seen that our heart is our brain. The first organ that is created in a body is the heart. Before you make any decision, you ask yourself, consciously or not, how do I feel about this? So emotions are not something that you can put aside. It's not something that you leave at home when you come to work. You have them with you. When there's instability at work, 30% of employees make mistakes on purpose. 27% hide from their boss. Have you seen any of your direct reports recently? 33% confess to not putting in their maximum effort. And I think what's even more dramatic is 25% of them took longer breaks, but 29% took sick time. When there is not emotional intelligence at the workplace, there is an increase in absenteeism and an increase on security. There are accidents at work because people are not emotionally stable. What are these emotions? 4 key emotions that are intimately intertwined, linked. You have anger, fear, sadness, and joy. And they're showing again in neuroscience today that if you do not address the issues of anger, you cannot celebrate joy. If somebody's fearful and you do not bring it out and it sits on their stomach, it has to come out at one point or another. So in order to be vulnerable, which means in order to be attuned and be able to speak about your emotions, it is only through that that you will be able to experience real happiness. Ask yourself, how do you affect others? Or perhaps, how do you infect others? Toxicity is no longer an excuse. I've been in companies where people say, oh yeah, but he's like that. It's okay. We ignore him or her. Or we've put them down at their offices at the end of the corridor and nobody goes to see them. That's social isolation. They've shown through neuroscience that social isolation is as painful as a broken bone. So avoiding somebody who is toxic, you're not being productive. You're not helping that person. Understanding that strategies for managing it, simply enough. Negativity, negative reinforcement is a destructive cycle. We know it today. It's been proven. Negative words produce negative thoughts. And in exchange, they produce negative emotional feelings, which in turn produces negative choices. But positivity, it's difficult. Sure, it's easier to make fun of people. It's easier to be negative. It's easier to lash out. But I guarantee you that, and I don't, neuroscience proves that for one negative comment, you have to hear 3 positive comments to erase that negativity. So that, you know, those third-degree humors, those slight remarks, sometimes, you know, it's supposed to be funny or they should get it. I need to ask you, how would you feel if you were the target of that slight remark? In order to understand how you can manage your emotions, there are several methods. The first one is simply situation selection. Stay away from it. Unfortunately, if you can't help assist that toxic person, make sure you go for a walk when you see that they're toxic. Try to get away from it. There's been a lot of thought of suppressed response, but unfortunately neuroscience has proven that if you suppress emotion, it will come out in 1 day, 1 week, or 1 year. So you need to get it out. And if it doesn't come out verbally, it'll come out in another way, coronary disease, etc. And the best way to handle emotions is what we call appraisal and reappraisal, is to go through the process of understanding that this is what I'm feeling right now, and how can I shift to add value to the environment. Simply enough, it's understanding that we have a basic reaction, and then when you feel it, we all know it, we all have our stress symptoms. When it's coming on, you need to step back, physically step back, shift your perspective, and figure out in the context, is it cultural, is it situation, is it corporate, what is it that is having each of us come from opposing views? Or why is it that I'm having that emotional reaction? And that's when you can have an emotionally adapted reaction. Another way to understand your emotions and what to do about it, first of all, is to understand that the slight effort you make. I'm not asking you today to walk out of here and change entirely who you are, but to choose 1 or 2 behaviors. Because with 20% change, you will impact 80% of your environment. So make that effort. Understand that everybody across the world, this is from my book, is about respect, relationships, recognition, and rewards. Everybody wants it. Understanding how you get it, how you can enable others to reach those human principles will enable you to establish an environment which has emotional intelligence. So what are you going to do about it? Feedback. Go ask a coworker, listen to them, just accept it. Turn it into feed forward by saying, thank you. Simply enough. You don't defend yourself, you don't explain, you don't, well, that was a particular case, you just listen. Then you can walk home, go into private, go into your office and close the door, and start writing down everything you felt when that person said that you're not clear in your instructions. What do you mean it must be his fault? I don't care. I'm strong. I'm better. Whatever. You write it all down on a piece of paper. Then you list all of your justifications of why you felt that way, so you can understand where the disconnect is. Read the list out with emotions. Put all of your energy into it. Ask yourself, what would you do the next time when you have this urge to be emotionally reactive to feedback? And simply say, with all my best intentions, when I do this again, how will I clean up the mess? Because it's not fun for anybody when you're emotionally reactive. Then you go back to the person that gave you that feedback, and you say simply, thank you, I apologize. I did not know that you perceived my reaction that way. Because everybody's perception is correct. It may not be yours. Apologize, commit to a cleanup plan, and agree that perhaps if you have that reaction again, maybe you'll pay €1, you'll do something so that it will train your brain to react differently.
Now, yeah,
On the very bottom?
yeah, on the very
Bottom
bottom.
right.
You can press escape.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, escape, that's the easiest way.
Good
Okay.
job.
So, was there anything that she said that spoke to you? Something that you hadn't thought of before?
Actually, a lot of what she says I've done in the past where I had to reflect on my emotions, seeing where it came from. And it was based off of reading or meditation where they, or the monks, or, yeah, basically monks, where they would meditate and then try to see where their certain feelings came from and where it started out in their body. And then I think Gwen has read where they're able to control their
Amygdala.
The amygdala, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is
that's
really
your-
impressive.
That's really crazy.
That's your
Physical.
fight or flight, yeah, that's the very basic of the emotion, that amygdala. It's just, and what they talk about quite often is hijacking. If you get really stressed and, you know, all of your emotions turn out like this, you're going straight to your amygdala, and what when they say about hijacking is what happens is that your thinking brain hides behind that amygdala, and the amygdala is saying, okay, we're either going to have to run or punch somebody. I mean, that's what it boils down to. And we in our culture don't necessarily physically punch somebody, but we punch them verbally. We say stuff like, well, that's a stupid idea, or, yeah, you can always come up with something like that, can't you? Ha 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 ha. But that was really a dig, right? It's not, you're not necessarily punching them in the face with your fist, but you're punching them by saying something verbally that is destructive, that is, you know, putting them down, that sort of thing. One of the things that I've heard often from people who have dealt with the Japanese culture is that a lot of times when they think that you're being stupid, they'll start laughing, and it's an inappropriate laugh. You're just it's a stupid laugh, but it's in their brain. They're thinking, this stupid American, I mean, how could they possibly? But it's something that, you know, you hate to put people in boxes, but a lot of them will do that, you know, and if you work with any, you have to make the distinction between a Japanese person who's been raised here in the States or has come, you know, raised, whether born here or not born here, if they were raised here from the time they were toddlers, they're more American thinking. But if you work with, and your company works with anybody from Japan, there's going to be that kind of reaction. And I, you know, have personally seen that before. So it's, you know, it's something that those are one of those things you kind of have to keep an eye out for. Anything else?
The emotional reactive part. Saying like, oh, thank you for the, sorry for the mix-up of being perceived wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
That's sometimes very hard to do, isn't it? You know, going back and saying, I'm sorry for, you know, but once again, a lot of introverts, a lot of extroverts who can't keep their mouth shut, you need to take that time away to think and then to say I'm sorry. If you really, you know, that false I'm sorry, yeah, you can throw that in a bucket. But if you think about it, and you really feel like you know, it's so easy to start making excuses for something, you know. Well, at the time I was, you know, I had a headache. You know, that's, you may have had a headache at the time, but that's not a good reason to be insulting or to, you know, not share totally with your teammates. And that's really what emotional intelligence is all about, is creating good teams so that you can be an inspirational leader, so that you will be perceived as a leader. Even though you don't hold a supervisor's position, or even though you don't have the most time at the office or whatever, a lot of people can be viewed as leaders because they take the initiative, because they're willing to work with the team and listen to everybody's point of view. So that's where we're going next. I need you to erase your things, and this time we're going to just work into 3 groups, okay? And this is where we're going. I want, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay? So, the 3 of you, if I can get you to erase your excuse group over here. Yeah, oh, perfect. Yeah. And then, Trey, if you can, yeah.
All right.
Let's do group A over here. I want you to talk about ground rules for a good team. Okay? And group B over here, tree. Let's see. Yeah, the 3 of you work over here on traits that are for a good team member. And then the 3 of you work over here on how you can inspire people to work with you. Oh, no, he's already got that erased. Why don't you work over there? Okay. And let's see. Yeah, you 3 work over here. You guys over here. So.
We're group A, right?
Yeah, you're group A. I want you to talk about ground rules for an effective team. Okay. What kind of ground rules would you establish? Group B over here, the 3 of you, I want you to talk about good traits of a team member. Okay. And then group C, how can you inspire or influence people to work with you? Okay? And let's see, I'll give you 10 minutes for that. Okay?
Try not to phone.
Cheat.
Yeah.
Actually, just turn off your phone or like laptop. No phone or laptop during meetings.
Respect.
Respect.
Yeah.
So coming up from that respect would be constructive. Constructive criticism only.
Wow, you have so many ideas.
Discipline.
Discipline is like really broad.
Yeah.
I think be on time.
Yeah. What's a term for that?
Timeliness, huh?
Criticism only? Oh, okay. Constructive. I was like, oh my gosh.
No, along is better like in B, right?
What's like absolutely no?
Hmm?
What's the absolutely no? What is a absolutely
Okay, so what else would be good for traits?
Absolutely.
no? Absolutely no. That's an no. What is
Absolutely no. Like you,
No. I'm just saying. No. This is not. What is it? Absolutely no. Like we can't do this.
Open-minded, taboo.
Like what is like this one thing that like people should not do in the team?
Oh. Be intimate.
They're over here
How about
trying to think of
playing with
ways
that afternoon?
to inspire or influence
Like no
or get people
play.
to influence people so that they'll work with you.
That's not
effectively.
I know, like, for sure, you keep grudges and all that personal
Just
stuff.
respect, right?
No.
Or keep like, yeah, what else do you say? Like keep like
I didn't
keep like
tell you this.
keep like people keep outside stuff.
I need a nice long list, guys.
Like consistency, almost like the limits or whatever.
Give personal manner to ourselves.
Like past experiences.
Consistent, like they can trust you or
Oh,
with that.
Similar to reliable.
No trash talking.
It's respect. Oh yeah. Hopefully trust.
Maybe
Social
showing
or personable.
gratitude.
Isn't it?
Shows that.
Personable. Yeah, gratitude and appreciation.
Yeah.
Is it interpersonal skill?
I think it would be personable because it's easier for
I think
and they can talk
You don't
with
need
you.
that many.
I mean, you don't really need that many rules.
I think this is good.
Sure. Oh, we get that. Oh, I thought you said an extra hour.
Like having.
Personable is that the word?
Pleasurable. Yeah.
Inquisitive.
Personable.
Oh, personal.
Inquisitive.
Yeah. Personal.
Isn't it?
No.
I never heard that word
Yeah.
before, but
Decision making. Inquisitive.
wow, have a good handwriting.
Yeah, that's it.
How about you and me challenge for good handwriting? To see who had a better.
What else do you guys like when
But isn't it the same kind of
is that same thing as planning or more of a signature? You guys like
Hello.
Party of one?
No, no ominous implies. Right? Is that the word?
Omitted?
Yeah, omitted. Whoops. No. Whoops. Omitted love.
Yes, I don't know if that's
I forgot what's the word.
For what?
like, I guess.
Like no, it's a lie when you
you
when you
withhold
withhold
information.
information.
Half truth.
No.
Almost there. Think about it, yeah. Okay, you guys happy with your list?
Honest. Honest. Oh, honesty with degree, but
Honestly.
I don't think that's a ground rule, so. Well, honestly, it is.
No,
So
political backstabbing.
No political
I know.
backstabbing. No corporate takeovers.
Okay, so, Group A, our ground rules. Why would we care if we had ground rules?
So no one steps over a line and you have structure.
Structure, okay.
You don't want anything like
Well-
in Lord of the Flies.
We want, we want some kind of structure, but not like
Not too rigid.
it has to be ground, so it has to be just enough minimum.
Okay.
But enough to keep going.
Right, so people have the opportunity to, add to this list,
Right.
okay? So your ground rules, first of all, turn off the cell phone, yes, that's respectful, but one of the things that you've forgotten here is that everyone contributes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Everyone contributes. Before you can start out with, turn off your cell phone. And when you say respect, how are you going to do that?
Basically, don't
Next
interrupt when someone's
Huh?
talking.
Constructive criticism? Okay.
No,
Yeah.
no name calling or no
Yeah.
bashing.
Well, you know what? We've got trash talking down here, but in being respectful, one of the things that you always say is one person speaks at a time. Okay? And then another thing that you want to do when you're doing ground rules is that, yes, your timeliness is very good. Personal matters out, that's true. No trash talking, that's true. No what?
Omitted.
No omitted lies. I think that rather than using negative words like no, you use inclusive words like everyone shares. Okay? And here's a big one that you should always use so that everyone knows that they can trust one another. What is said in the group stays in the group. And the reason you always want to say that is that way people will be honest with you and give you this, your honesty, okay? You've got to make sure that people feel that they can be safe in working in the group, you know. So if someone says, you know, that's a great idea, but my manager is going to throw that away right off the bat because he said they've done it like that before. So if you run off and tell his manager that, oh, you know what he said? That you're going to kick it out right away. Where's the trust going to go? Right in the garbage. Nobody's going to pay any attention to that, right? Okay? So in addition to the timeliness and the respect, you show respect by only one person speaking at a time. You know, usually we're all adults, we don't have to raise our hands, but it's important that we respect people in that way and that you ask everyone to share and everyone to contribute, okay? So that we don't, I'm saying everyone shares so that they're not, so that lies don't come into being, okay? All right, let's go over here to the traits. How you conduct yourself. How you conduct yourself. You're organized. Okay, an individual is organized. If you are a team member, what you're responsible for there's no spell check in this. Okay. All right. What you're responsible for, that's what you have to be organized with. The team lead, if you're the team lead, you sure as hell better know what everybody else is doing. But if you are responsible for if you have a certain part of it, you've got to be organized and you know that you're responsible for that. Okay? When you tell me about decisive, what did you mean by decisive?
In terms of
Being a good team member. How? Tell me how that works.
well, a lot of times I notice people will just throw out all like they don't always think through their ideas, so they'll just throw everything out, and it seems like they'll just hope that something sticks.
Yeah.
Not to say that monkeys don't do that, but when they
Monkeys are the worst at doing that, actually.
well, at least we're kind of close to the objective.
Well, now being decisive, if you're at the end, yes. If you're brainstorming, you want all that crap to be thrown out there, because you might say, well, let's cure world hunger, and and that's like too big. You really can't do that. But someone can say, we can't cure world hunger, but we can take a can of food to the food bank. So it's bringing it down. So if at the end, you better be ready to support your ideas. You have to be decisive about what you're doing. But if you're just at the beginning, you want to be able to let everybody just throw all kinds of crap out there and sort through what's good and what's not good. So,
yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Optimistic. Okay? Yeah. I would hope. Respectful, very important. Timely, yes. Honest, very important. Good planning. Personable. These two kind of go together. Okay? Personable means being friendly, but not obsequious. Just super sweet, super, too nice kind of thing. Open-minded. Please remember that you're going to get some of this crap, like I say, all this stuff thrown out there. You've got to be open-minded about it. Things that you have doubts about, write down and then think about it later. And then, and by the way, when you're being a good team member, if you are somebody that sees something that you don't know if you quite accept, ask for time to think about it. Okay? Don't just kind of go away and say, well, they've already made up their minds. But be honest enough to say, I want to think about that a little bit more because I might have some other ideas. Can I get back to you by, and give them a time. Okay? Can I get back to you by tomorrow? Can I get back to you at the end of the week? Can I get back? However much time you think, and if they say no, you can say, well, how about at the end of the day? Because almost anybody is going to be respectful enough and know that you're not asking just to be a pain in the butt, but that you really want to think about it. But they're not going to let you do that if you don't ask for it. So make sure that you have enough chutzpah to go ahead and ask for a little bit of extra time.
So I was wondering, and this happened recently, where we made plans, and then that person calls, and they're like, I'm not sure if we can do this anymore for whatever reason, and then I give them a solution, right? And then they'll say, but what about this? And then I give a solution to that, and they'll say, but what about this? And it continues on for a while, and then at the end it just seems like they just didn't want to tell me what they wanted in the first place. If they'd done that, then we could have skipped through all that or figured out another way.
Okay. And the way you kind of get around that is you ask the question. Don't give the solution. Ask them, why do you think, that can't be done? And then you're either going to hear bullshit or you're going to get a real answer. We're all adults here. I mean, I can say that, can't I?
Yeah.
I mean, really. They're going to come up with something, and then you can keep on asking, and then finally they're going to give you the real life truth. I just don't really want to go out to dinner. you know, which might hurt your feelings, but at least you finally got to the honest answer. See, and that works both personally and at work, rather than giving the solutions. And you know, we women are, you know, giving you guys this big secret, so when you find your girls, you know, big secret is that a lot of times women just want to vent, you know, say, I was at work today, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened. And sure enough, my husband gives me an answer. I don't want an answer. I want him to just shut up and listen. Right? I mean, I just want to do some of that venting. And sometimes when you come up with the answer, you're really thwarting that person from getting to their own, you know, their own reality. Okay? So go back to this. Ask. You know, they say, well, you know, I can't do that because I gotta, you know, wash my feet. You know. Really? And why do you think that's important? You know, creativity, yes, that's very good. Reliability, that goes along with the respectfulness and the timeliness. And then inquisitive, very good. Ask these questions. You know, why do you want to do this? When do you think we can get it done? And have some fun. Yeah, that's important. Okay, so how are you going to influence people?
Okay, so a couple things here. First is to be willing to listen with an open mind, being unbiased.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing is to be able to produce results for them. And then beyond that, produce results for the organization so they see your impact.
Yes.
And that
oh, super, super, super. Okay, we give him an extra big star there. That's a really good answer.
and then get to know them, as well as give them permission to get to know you.
Yes.
Number 4, demonstrate character and integrity, and this goes with trust, consistency, showing gratitude, and then be firm in your decision making. Don't make decisions for them, but be firm in it, because you know, you don't worry about making the right decisions. Make your decisions right, whatever it is that you're making with the group, and be firm with your belief, not in your, could be personal, but have clear visions, because you can't inspire nothing if you
don't know where
you're going.
Yeah.
You don't know where you want to lead the team.
Uh-huh.
And then be compassionate and be humble. Think less about yourself. And then think about, for your vision, the community or the organizational impact beyond just yourself, too. Optimism, inclusiveness, and then accountability for self, and also to influence, you know, accountability for that person in the right manners.
Right. This is really good here. You said produce. You need to be able to show the chain of command that you know, this is good for me because of this. It's because it's good for the team. I mean, you're not going to say, well, it's good for you. That's, you know, you're going to let yourself know. You know, but the WIFM, what's in it for them, for the team, and then for the manager, and then for the organization. When you can show that straight line of influence and how it impacts positively, then you're really going to be able to move up the chain, because people realize that you get it. This is what we're trying to do for our company. And then this accountability. Whenever you're working on a team or working on a project, there should always be a deadline. Okay, always be a deadline. Okay, you know. Okay, so you're in charge of getting us the cost for the products we're going to be using. You know, can you get it done by 2 weeks from today? And the answer usually is yes. You know, if you say, can you get it for me by, you know, the end of this afternoon, you may or may not be able to, and you've got to be honest with it. You know, I'll get as many of those as possible, but we're starting at 1 o'clock, and, you know, we may not be able to, you know, get all those answers by then. But when you're leading a team, this is what's really important, having that accountability and being able to show everyone how they impact and how they can benefit everyone. Okay? Starting with themselves all the way up to the organization. And sometimes that's hard to do, sometimes, you know, it's pretty easy. And the inclusiveness is also very important. If you're going to get them to follow you, you make them the hero of their own story. Okay? Make them understand that that this up here is, you know, dependent on what they do, what they say, how they add to the team. And when you give people, you know, you've got some deadbeats. Every single company, every organization, every school, every family has a deadbeat. You know, that just, you know, I don't care if you tell them that, you know, God's going to rain gold down on them. It's just not in their makeup. So just know that there are some of those people and try to find out what motivates them, what you can give them. You know, oh, Danny, you're the best trash taker out I've ever met. Would you, at the end of every meeting, make sure that all of the trash is taken care of? That sounds like such a dumb thing, but you have just given him some. I'm just using you as an example. I'm not saying you're but this is the, you know, the kinds of things you have to find out what you can give them that they can feel good about themselves at the end of the day. Okay? All right, so next time we're going to talk about the really hard stuff. And I found out that if I don't erase this stuff right away, it stays on there and I can't get it off. So that's it for today. Do you have any questions? Is there anything I can do to help you? I would really encourage you to take all of those tests and take a look at how you look, you know, how you see yourself. Okay? I'll see you in a month.
Okay.
Hopefully, well, you know, part of it too is
a month, like nobody here for a month because they off to school already. I'm the only one.
No, we all work now.
yeah.
Used to be for all work.
Yeah.
Go to school.
Where do you go to school?
Oh, true.
Where do you go to school? You're Nova? So she's here.
Wait, I thought you said you go to your nation.
Which is around
That's
here.
still close, yeah.
Oh wait.
Rosie, this isn't your last seminar on EQ, is it?
No, we have one more.
One more?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you're taking a test.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay.
Woohoo, test.